So what? We get to the sort of the punchline for this whole talk. We still have a lot to study. Based on some of the questions we've gotten today,
It's Mecha Wolf. It's run by a cockroach.
It's pretty old.
we still have a lot to study. Based on some of the questions we've gotten today, it's obvious that we still have a lot to learn. We are currently running longitudinal studies. We're looking at how furries change over time. Does the fandom actually have an impact on you? Looking at temporal data. Experimental studies, like the kind of reaction time study that I was talking about, where we can actually look at the way your mind works. And hopefully, in the future, trying to catch some furries as they're leaving the fandom and find out sort of, why are you leaving? And this is going to help us test some new hypotheses, like some of the ones that came up today. So what we've covered really quickly, we've covered, just to move it along. Our research, just so you know, is available through talks like this, but we also have our website. I think you passed around cards, Sharon?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, those weren't those cards.
Okay, we do have business cards at our desk. Drop by. All of this data and much more is available there. We have a Twitter group, I don't tweet or Twitter or whatever it is you do. I'm learning it, so be patient with me if you follow us on. We have a Facebook group as well. So, and we, as I mentioned, we were published in this last year alone. It's been great.
Yes.
We have been accepted in draft, accepted, and review. We are doing a lot of research.
So, how can we participate while you're still here? The cameras?
Where the GoPro?
That's how you better.
Yeah, so a couple of things you can do if you want to help us with our research. If you go to our research table during the day, we have a few studies. One of them is a focus group. We're trying to get a bunch of furries in a circle together to talk about some of these issues that you saw today. Talk about sort of how you feel about some of these attitudes, these issues, and it helps us to draft hypotheses.
Yeah, in particular with that one, we're interested in the transition to adulthood. So how furry relates to adulthood, if it hinders it, if it helps it, just your perceptions of that.
Now, you remember I was talking about gender issues in the fandom, especially if you are a female in the fandom. We are very interested in what you have to say, and we realize that it can be difficult if you're one female and there's 9 guys around you to talk about how you're maybe not so comfortable with pornography use in the fandom. We have several individual interviews where you talk by yourself with a couple of research assistants and that way you can talk sort of as freely as you want about some issues like pornography or sex in the fandom and how you feel about it. Males as well. We're very interested in what males have to say as well. If sort of in isolation when there's not others around, what do you actually believe about pornography? Another thing we're doing, we're recruiting for that longitudinal study we were talking about. If you want to help us out, if you give us your email address at our table tomorrow, we can give you a code, and every 6 months or a year or so, we'll send you a survey, and we track your data over time. We see how spending time in the fandom changes you over 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, depending on how long the government will allow us to keep doing this and keep paying for it. I think that's all right. Oh, and a GoPro. If you have a fursuit especially, we're strapping a GoPro camera to you, and we're trying to get footage for a YouTube series that we're starting up.
Yeah.
Because we've been approached by several media sources in the last year saying, hey, we want you to speak about furries on our show. And we say, great. And they say, okay, all you have to do is say that furries don't have sex with animals all the time. And we're like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And so, true story. And so, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And so,
My breath is not visible. It's getting cold.
Yeah, you know
So-
they cut out the don't have, and they would just sort of cut out the don't, and it would be spliced all together.
yeah.
Furries
So
have sex
because
with
we have
animals,
no
but
control over how an editor is going to use our words,
Yeah.
we're starting our own YouTube series.
Yes, we are.
And if they want to use our words, they can go to our YouTube series and we'll direct them there.
Yeah. So just so you know, we're looking for 30-second blurbs from you. Just put you on camera. You can do it in groups if you like, or by yourself, or with one of us. It doesn't matter. We want you to answer: what is a furry? What is furry culture? Whether it's online musicians or artists. What are personas? What are the facts, fiction about furry sexuality? Ooh. We want to know what you think of CSI.
Sucked.
Burn it. What's the deal with the fursuits?
I will sum up what I think of CSI like this.
That's okay. We can do that.
We do that.
Sure.
It's our YouTube channel.
And what are the subcultures within the fandom? So those are our questions for probably the first 6 episodes of what we want to do.
Yeah, so come talk to us at a research table. We are happy to answer more questions about this.
And one more thing. I know that we've got tons and tons of artists in here. If you have any artwork or any music, anything that you would give us the rights to use,
For our
with
channel?
of course, yeah, for our we would be happy to say with music provided by and whatever name you want, with art provided by, we'd be happy to work with the community. We know that you're creative. We know that you're talented.
We're not.
We're not, so.
You can use all my shit. But you probably don't want to.
Yeah, 69 gay raccoons.
Yeah, in the background of a fucking thing trying to like to tell everybody, oh yeah, we're not sexual. 69 gay records.
Yeah, I got one. Why not Zoidberg?
I got one question.
What?
How many people here realize that in the background the entire time was Mewtwo?
Yeah.
I actually saw it, yeah. Actually, I got a question.